continued to the into the woods. The two tracks split into two directions from the hunting camp. One trail led east and the other south. We decided to take the southern path since it went directly into the woods rather than just around the perimeter as the eastern trail did. At this point my father still didn't have the area logged of all the dead ash and elm yet, so the woods were thick and dense. So much so that one really couldn't see far into the tree line. That being said, with the thick canopy of the trees there wasn't much sunlight that hit the ground, so there wasn't much in the line of undergrowth. You could only see about 25 yards in during the day. In the night that distance was much smaller. It was an extremely calm night, so we could hear everything. It was the kind of still night that makes deer and other small animals hunker down to avoid detection from predators. We heard nothing but the slightest sound of rustling leaves and our own footsteps as we worked our way into the darkness of the woods, a darkness made darker by the lack of moonlight allowed to penetrate the thick canopy. We strode along, swapping the lantern between the three of us since it was old and somewhat heavy, the weak flickering lamplight casting shadows behind the trees. We talked and made plans to cut some more trails for our ATVs. We talked about girls and about cars. You know, hardcore guy stuff. At this point none of us were unnerved or frightened. We had been in this woods countless times, and we knew that nothing was in there aside from maybe a sleeping deer or squirrel. As we neared the other side of the woods, the trail forks off once more. Directly to the south was a field we called the lowland. It was once swampland many years ago and was filled with Michigan peat, which is basically very dark mineral-rich soil which looks like potting soil minus the white clumps of fertilizer. We decided to head east on a narrower winding trail that led deeper into the woods, then out into a clearing and pond. This trail was not in as good of shape as the one we were turning off of, so we slowed our pace